Here are 15 of the best Ask Reddit stories for today. I hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. We post new videos every day.
People who have came close to death. What was your last thoughts? 2 weeks after I got my tonsils out some number of years ago, I woke up at 3 a.m. to a metallic taste in my mouth. Went to the bathroom, turned on the light, leaned over the sink to spit, and red poured out. I started screaming and pounding on the mirror as my parents' headboard was on the other side of the wall. My mom started yelling, "Come in," thinking I was at the door, and I just kept screaming and hitting the wall. She eventually came in, freaked out since her son was stooped over the sink looking like death incarnate, then grabbed a bucket and drove me to the hospital as fast as possible. So we get the ER with my soul leaking into this bucket as I'm trying to not swallow all the blood, and they tell us they don't have a bed available yet. She basically says, "Fuck you, my son is literally bleeding out," and drags me to find one. Suddenly, staff is approaching trying to figure out what's going on. They see blood dripping out of my face, how pale and feeble I am, and get me in a bed. As soon as I sit down, I'm hit with an intense wave of nausea. I puke and it is all blood. The bucket is full. Now everyone is panicking, but I and my deplorable say I gotta pee now. They insist I don't, but I just start standing up and trying to walk somewhere to take a piss. Needless to say, I immediately pass out, crumple, and piss myself. As I've been told, they threw me back in the bed with my feet raised. Blood starts dripping out my nose and mouth from the extra pressure. My mom is in hysterics at this point and has to leave. They then cauterize the back of my throat, and I wake up the next day to learn I had lost like a third of my blood or something crazy like that. I was told my odds of having outcome that bad from a tonsillectomy were like 1/100,000th.
What's a fun fact that isn't fun at all? Americans brought shotguns into World War I, which was a genius move as they were highly effective at clearing trenches. They were also highly effective at pissing off the Germans, who claimed they were inhumane. Don't forget, this is coming from the same guys who used poison gases like mustard gas, which burned everything it touched, or chlorine gas, which drowned you from the inside. As such, American soldiers found with shotguns or shotgun shells were shot on sight by the Germans. I believe it was the charge at Lone Pine. Australian soldiers complained that Turkish soldiers were using dum-dum bullets, which were bullets that expanded on impact. They left a regular entry wound but a gruesome much larger exit wound. This was not the case though. It turned out, the mass rifle fire at close range made it look like Anzac soldiers were being shot with expanding bullets. In the books, Stuart Little was never explicitly called a mouse. He's pretty much described as a deformed mouse-esque person born from human parents.
What would be the worst form of torture without causing physical pain/harm? My vote goes out for the goats. You take rope and tie someone to a chair. Strap them down so that they move their legs or arms. Then take a big bucket of salt water, then dip their feet in it. Leave them like that for about a day with their feet just soaking in salt water. Once the day is up, kick the chair over so their feet are up in the air. Then bring in a goat. It'll find his salt-soaked feet and start licking. And it won't stop licking. It'll keep licking past the flesh and muscle all the way down to the bone. And you know what doesn't get bored? A goat licking salt. You can scream and try to kick, but that persistent salt licker won't give up. It will just stand then on all fours and lick at your feet with a coarse tongue for hours. The worst part is it's just the victim and a goat in a room. Nobody to plead with, or confess to, or bargain with. Just a goat that likes salt. That goat would be the most dedicated, hard-working, and empathetic torturer you've ever seen.
As a teenager, what was the worst thing your parents ever walked in on you doing? I don't know why I did it. But I was 14 and kinda curious. It was late, I didn't think anybody was gonna come down my hallway, so I left my door wide open. I knelt down to the ground, stuck my tongue out, placed it on the wall, and proceeded to lick the wall from the bottom to as high as I could go standing up. I looked to my left and my dad was just standing there with a big ass smile on his face. He yells out to my mom, "Yo, this weird ass kid is licking the wall." I still don't understand why I had the urge to do that. That was a weird night.
Today my girlfriend of 8 years, who I was about to propose to, told me the truth. Some backstory. Me, 25M, and my girlfriend, Adriana, 24F, have been dating since we were 16 and 17. We met in high school and loved each other ever since. Well, the other day I set up a fancy dinner for us, and I was ready to propose to her, the love of my life. Just as I took her to the hotel room filled with roses and got on my knees and pulled out the box, she stopped me. She then said, "No, I can't marry you, Jimmy, I'm sorry. I have to tell you the truth." Everything went blank for me at that moment. I was shocked, scared, and heartbroken. She told me how she was still in love with her best friend, Ryan, 24M, and that he will always be her first love. They met way before we met, they grew up with each other, they dated multiple times but always broke up because of mutual issues. I met Ryan, I welcomed him since they were still best friends. Just to come to find out just about all 8 years of our relationship she has loved him. Has compared me to him. and has been sleeping with him. She told me they had a plan that was Ryan would leave his girlfriend and she would leave me with no explanation and they would move to Florida and finally be together. I'm heartbroken. She moved out of our apartment together and moved in with him until they moved down to Florida. Turns out she's 5 weeks pregnant with his baby too. I'm not mad. I just wish I wasn't played out like a fool. I hope they live happily together. Women, what is a surprising fact you discovered about men? That they are not criticizing women's bodies as much as women are led to believe, maybe by themselves or whomever is driving this culture. They are far more acceptant of how women look like naturally than women themselves. This was such a game changer for me. You guys can sit there and think about nothing. Our brain has a neutral gear. That 80% of the time they concretely mean exactly what they say, which is why only 20% of the time they understand what I'm saying. That if you show them exactly how much you appreciate them, they are more likely to be motivated to complete a task than if you nag them. The fact that men really are physically stronger. I always assumed this was purely based on size, but I'm a woman who works out every day, lifts weights, yoga, jogging/Peloton. My older brother doesn't exercise outside of an occasional hike. He's 4 inches taller than me and 10 pounds lighter than I am. I'm a dress size 0 or 2, he's faster than me on a hike, including backpacking, and can lift up heavier things. It makes me so angry. When they wake up, they just sit down and stare at nothing for a good 5 minutes.
What did you do as a teenager that you will never tell your parents? I really didn't want to do PE one day, but I didn't have a good reason, so I knew my dad wouldn't write me a note. So what I did instead was get a plain piece of paper and asked him to sign it because we are doing a thing in English where we try to guess the personality of a person from their signature. Which he totally bought. I then went to the printer and typed out your standard sick note, stuck the signed plain paper into the printer so when the note printed my dad's signature would appear at the bottom. I will probably tell my dad this at some point because I'm actually kinda proud of myself for pulling it off. My mom let my friends all come over the night after graduation. Believe it or not, she got together with the other moms for us to have a little party, complete with a few malt beverages and beer. We gave my mom all our keys. We turned up the music. We got out a table. We proceeded to play D&D all night. My mom still thinks we got drunk. Having a miscarriage is not the same as losing a teenager. My son passed away in October at the age of 15. My life has completely fallen apart since then and I've never been in a lower place. I want to pass away, but I can't put my dad through the same thing I'm going through. Whenever someone I know, whether it's family, co-workers, friends, anyone, finds out about what happened, they obviously start telling me how sorry they are for my loss, which is fine, they're being nice, but so many people have continued that conversation with, I get how you feel. I had a miscarriage a few years back and I was depressed for a while after that. Look, I know miscarriages are sad, but my son wasn't an effing fetus. He had interests, a personality, a sense of humor. He was a fully fledged person. A fetus never had the opportunity to become a person in the same way a 15-year-old did. I don't care if this makes me a jerk. A miscarriage is not the same thing as losing a teenager, not even close. I had to sit through my cousin telling me about her miscarriage for about 10 minutes this afternoon during Christmas lunch, and I listened. I thanked her for her condolences. I didn't say anything about how unfair that comparison is, because I love her, but I wanted to scream at her. Just say you're sorry for my loss and move on. I don't want to talk to you about it or your miscarriage, especially not during Christmas lunch. Bought stockings for everyone and mine is the only one that's empty. I've never had a stocking for Christmas before, and this year my boyfriend said we should get one for everyone, us and our 3 roommates, and hang them up. I was really excited about it and had a bunch of ideas for what I could put in everyone's stocking. So I've been filling them up with various little items, theme socks, candy, mini liquor bottles, etc. Today I was putting a couple of more things in them when I realized that mine is completely empty. All the others, even the dogs, are filled to the brim and mine is completely flat. It just made me really sad. Like I said, I've never had a stocking before, so I was looking forward to seeing what had been put in mine, but I guess I've been the only one participating. All the roommates saw the stockings and also expressed excitement about them, but I don't know why they forgot about it. I don't know how when they're hanging up and everyone has been commenting on them like every day. I don't want to bring it up to my boyfriend because I know he'll just feel bad about it, but it's making me really sad. Guess I won't get a stocking this year after all.
My girlfriend is accusing me of being gay because I didn't cheat on her. So we've been together for about 2 years now. She's always been the jealous type, but it's never bothered me because I'm not a very social person, so I never felt she would have a reason to be jealous. She knows my schedule and I have the Life 360 app on my phone, so she knows my location at all times. I have this app because one day my father got into a car accident in a remote area and it saved his life. According to my girlfriend, women often hit on me. I really don't believe that is the case because I'm an average-looking dude and don't put myself out there like that, but she insists this is the case. She has made multiple attempts to catfish me. She tried Facebook, but I won't accept a friend request or message from someone I don't know. She tried Instagram and it was the same. So then she tried Reddit, where I'm likely to respond to a message from a stranger. It was painfully obvious what she was trying to do. I've been using Reddit for a decade and know what normal behavior looks like. She sent me a message like, "I saw your post and you're so funny. Do you want to hook up? I live in your city," and attached a picture of an attractive woman. I knew it was bull crap and just replied, "You're not fooling anyone." The rest of the day she gave me the cold shoulder and had an attitude. When I called her out she said, "If you were a real man, you wouldn't have even responded to the message." I handed her my phone and passcode and told her she can search everything. She did. She gave it back to me about an hour later. At this point I asked, "Did you find what you were looking for?" while laughing. Now she is accusing me of being gay. She didn't find any messages between me and other women. My search history is mostly about the shows I watch and recipes I want to cook. Also some medical questions about my pets. She said if I'm not seeking out other women I must be gay. What the heck am I supposed to do? I did nothing wrong and somehow I'm still the bad guy. She told me to leave my house the day before Christmas because she doesn't want to see me. Also called her about to lie to my girlfriend for the first time ever and feeling a little guilty. My last relationship was awful. I'd constantly find myself telling tiny little white lies otherwise my girlfriend would explode, such as what I'd eaten for lunch that day in case it was slightly unhealthy. I don't have any health issues. Getting pissed off if I'd paid a little too much for something, not in debt and have decent savings. We broke up and I vowed after that to always be completely honest, and up until now I have been. In the 2 years I have been with my girlfriend I have not told a single lie, though it's easy when you don't feel like you're walking on eggshells. However, I've now been forced into a lie. This Friday I will not be going into work like she thinks I am. If she asks how my day was I'll give the standard answers, but the truth is I'll be making a small day trip to the city. When I get to the city I'll be shopping for an engagement ring. I'll tell her the truth afterwards and I'm sure she'll see the funny side, but goddamn do I hate lying to her. Am I the jerk for using flashcards to explain to my brother and his wife why they can't bring their rainbow baby to my wedding? My fiancé and I are getting married. We've decided wedding's gonna be child-free, no hate towards children, just to keep it more organized and contained. My brother Chris and his wife have a 3-year-old son who everyone calls Miracle or Rainbow Baby. He came after several failed pregnancies that lasted for years. When they found out that my nephew was included in the no children rule, they tried to convince me to make an exception for him. Chris told me his son is a miracle baby and his presence at the wedding will bring blessings for me and my fiancé. I refused and said no, the wedding is child-free. His wife kept sending my fiancé pictures of my nephew when he was months old. I told them no and to stop. My brother told me this might cause a rift in our relationship. I again said no and explained that the wedding is child-free. He asked again and pointed out how his baby is different since he's a rainbow, a miracle baby. I again said no and explained that the wedding is child-free. They brought it up when they visited at my home and I knew they weren't going to stop, so I'd made flashcards in advance with the phrase "the wedding is child-free, period," and pulled them out and started slowly showing them the flashcards one by one in this order. The wedding, with a sticker of bride and groom, is child, with a sticker of a baby, free, with a sticker of this sign, period, with a huge black dot sticker. They both were stunned. I asked if they get it now and Chris had lost his shite. His wife had already grabbed her stuff and walked out. Chris called me an a-hole for doing this and said that I disrespected him, his wife and their son who's my one and only nephew. He rushed out after we argued. My fiancé saw the whole thing and thought that it was funny, but my parents and Chris are livid beyond measure. They're telling everyone about the amount of disrespect and mockery I had displayed towards them and I'm being told to fix it now.
My fiancé caught me emotionally cheating. I don't know what to say. So sorry for the title. Basically my fiancé and I have been going through a very stressful moment in time, very stressful. I have been reading and keeping a journal instead of writing about my life. Well, it got a little fan fiction. Why? Basically, I have been writing about situations between me and certain fiction characters. Well, my fiancé was cleaning and found my journal, so he read it. He has read my writing before. I haven't ever had a journal or explain what it was. Well, to say the least, he was pissed because I wrote these elaborate stories about a strange man named Alucard giving me attention and sometimes some intimate stuff. I won't lie, I was so embarrassed I just froze. I walked away into the living room, not talking, just petrified. I turned on Netflix and put the episode on Castlevania where Alucard is introduced. I just stare at my fiancé as he puts 2 and 2 together. His face went from angry to confused. He read through again and lost it. I mean, he just effing laughed and laughed so hard I thought he would die. It woke up our baby. He laughed so freaking hard. Now every time he looks at me or goes to watch TV he just laughs. He is normally very stoic, so it's very weird, yet amazing to see him laugh so much. I am so damn embarrassed. So, yeah, just needed to tell someone that story. Enjoy my embarrassment.
Me and my girlfriend were robbed and how she acted during makes me want to dump her. 2 weeks ago me and my girlfriend were walking home while a little drunk after a party and we were robbed by an armed mugger. The guy stopped us, pulled out his firearm and told us to give him our stuff. I immediately gave him my wallet and phone. My girlfriend decided to be difficult. I don't know why. She is usually very smart, but this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen her done. She refused to give him her phone or purse. She decided that the best course of action was to argue with him. She kept yelling at me to do something, which led to the guy keeping his weapon on me the entire time. She was just doing too much. She had no sense of self-preservation and it was very clear she valued her material possessions more than my life. Eventually I took both from her and gave it to the guy and he ran off. Afterwards she was pissed at me for keeping us both alive. I grew up in the hood and I have had stuff like this happen more than once. I know the best way to make it out of these situations is to just give them your shit so they'll leave. Yeah, it sucks losing money, but that's a lot better than getting hurt or worse in the streets over a few $100s. Both of our lives are worth more than that, but she apparently didn't see it that way. Her utter lack of desire to keep both of us alive over money is a huge wake-up call to me. Like, if she's gonna be this dumb in a potentially life or death situation, how can I trust her to be with me throughout the rest of my life? Girlfriend being under anesthesia made me realize how lucky I am. I, male 23, never got taken seriously by women. I always ended up getting friend-zoned or got told, "It's not you, it's me." I never thought I was ugly, but being rejected did make me feel less attractive. I feel like I have relatively nice facial features. I'm a chubbier guy, not obese or anything, just got a bit of a dad bod going on. My girlfriend, female 22, is so beautiful both inside and out. She is honestly out of my league. We have been dating for a little over a year. She compliments me. I honestly sometimes feel like she's just being nice and doesn't truly feel that way even though it's been over a year. Yesterday she had a surgery. It was 4 hours long and she got put under some pretty strong anesthesia. When girlfriend was awake and I got to see her, she seen me and said, "It's my beautiful boyfriend," and had a huge smile on her face. The nurse told me my girlfriend been taking about me since she first woke up. Then a little while late, she was just staring at me with the cutest smile. I asked, "What are you thinking about?" She said, "Just appreciating how gorgeous you are." Throughout the day she would randomly say, "I love you," or, "You're so handsome." She doesn't remember anything. I think this helped me realize that my girlfriend does find me attractive, which makes me feel so happy. Yo, rent is due. I don't got money, bro. You better go sell feet pics or something then, cause I'm not paying your half again. Hold on. Bro. Shaving right now. Bro, I was joking. I'm signing up for Feet Finder. How do you even know of that website?